The year 1912 ushered in many significant events. It was also the year that a Greek man named Gus Zakos immigrated to the United States. 2 years later, he would forever change the candy industry in Western Pennsylvania. In 1914, Gus decided to put his experience with candy making to use during the slow periods at his restaurant, emphasizing quality above all else when manufacturing his tasty chocolate treats.
After a period of time, the candy end grew within a year, and he decided he needed to get a naming for his candy. So he didn't think Zakos Candy would be a good name, so he had a naming contest, and he put two names together, the Rosalind Candy Store and the Candy Castle, and he decided to call it Rosalind Candy Castle. There was nobody by the name of Rosalind. He just liked the roses and he liked the castle. Right after they named the Candy Castle, they moved the store to Rochester on Brighton Avenue.
In 1932, Gus continued to make more types of chocolate confections at his new location. Soon, the candy business was growing faster than the restaurant business, prompting Gus to hire a new employee.
At age 15, my mother started to work for Gus. At that time, the candy end was growing. They decided they need a bigger building, so they moved to New Brighton in the late 30s, and they were on 3rd Avenue around 10th Street. My mom and dad, they met at the candy store on 3rd Avenue. My dad would go in there to eat occasionally, and he met my mom, and they started to date. So he used to come there quite often to eat, so he'd be able to see my mother.
By 1951, Gus decided to drop the restaurant side of the business and concentrate on the ever-increasing demand for candy. The building on 3rd Avenue became too small to keep up with the growing demand. So a new store was built at the current location at the corner of 13th Street and 5th Avenue in New Brighton. The building was completed in 1952, and that became the Rosalind Candy Castle.
About a year or so later, Gus was sick, and he ended up passing away. So my mother and dad and aunt and uncle purchased the business. My mother and dad, they enjoyed working in the candy business. My mother, she just knew how to do everything. From 1932 till she was almost 90 years old, was here every day.
I just remember my grandma being the hardest worker I've ever known. She worked on her feet all day long. She was one of the first people here, and she was one of the last people here to leave.
Elizabeth passed on her work ethic to her grandchildren.
I think Gus and all of our family ancestors, I think they would be happy to see what we've done and how we've grown the business and how we continue to.
It was a great experience growing up here and learning the different things, and it made it natural for me to want to come back and continue to run the store.
The decision to dedicate his life to the candy business was not an easy one.
When I got out of college, I graduated from Robert Morris. I wasn't sure if I was going to come in the candy business or not. My parents said, no, go do something on your own, the store will be here. So I worked for Westinghouse. I was a buyer over in Beaver. Did that for about 8 years, and then I was given the opportunity to come in the store. And that was in 1979. If I didn't give it a try, I'd probably always be upset that I didn't give it a try.
Rosalind flourished for more than 4 decades under Jim's leadership, and now he's counting on Mike and Jennifer to maintain the family tradition.
Now it's my kids' turn to carry on and take over the business.
My sister Jennifer and I are glad to continue the tradition of Rosalind Candy Castle and continue making the chocolates and making our family proud. My dad wanted me to come into the business, and he wanted to try to hopefully retire and teach me everything that he knew.
They are the new generation for Rosalind Candy.
Rosalind's reputation for superb chocolates continues to grow, earning the respect of chocolate lovers throughout the tri-state area. Despite a number of competitors in the area, Rosalind Candy Castle has routinely been voted #1 by the Beaver County Times Reader's Choice Awards for Best Candy Store.
We always use cream and butter. We don't use substitutes. We make sure that everything is fresh.
We've had people come in doing like a tour from all the candy places, and they go, "We can't believe you still do it this way." We're proud of that. That was one of the turning points that I realized that we have something special.
Everything we make is from scratch. It's really important to us that we maintain that quality. We can change technology, but we never want to change the quality of our product.
A couple years ago, a lady called in, it was right before Easter, and she's telling me that she used to work for my grandmother on the main street, and she was just telling us how we used to make the fruit nut egg. And I'm like, we're doing that right now. Like, right this second, we are actually doing that right now. And she's, well, you probably don't make it. I said, no, we make it the same exact way. It was just great to hear that story, and we love hearing those stories that we're a part of somebody's family.
Just seeing the excitement when little kids come in the store is just amazing to see their big eyes. And if we're making candy, we can let them peek back and they get to see the hand dippers making the candy, and just the excitement on their faces is pretty neat to see.
That's what our dad taught us from when we were little, is quality is key. And when you hear that when you're like 6, 7 years old, you have no idea what that means. You say, okay. As you grow older, you realize that's what separates us from other places, is the quality.
For over 100 years, success has been sweet for Rosalind Candy Castle. And while our offerings are constantly changing, one ingredient remains constant: Rosalind's unwavering commitment to quality.
To me, Rosalind Candy is a staple in the community. Our family has been here for so long. New Brain's been great to us. Beaver County's been great. We enjoy giving back to the community. We love being a part of this community. We love hearing people's stories and hearing people come in and say, we're a part of people's lives. That's one of the things that weighs a lot of our business decisions, is to make sure that what we're doing was in line with the family values and we're making them proud of us.